This single mother was very happy with her son, but she felt the lack of something in her life. He wanted a baby girl and was aware that her only option was to adopt. She had just taken her new daughter in her arms when she received terrible news. Her life would never be the same again. Dana, 35, was preparing decorations for the birthday of her adopted daughter, 5-year-old Jessie. She adopted Jessie last year and has loved her very much ever since. Jessie was Ukrainian. She had been orphaned after a terrible accident suffered by her parents. When Dana read her story on the internet, she immediately decided that she wanted to give her a new home. "We need each other," she kept saying that to Jessie. That Tuesday, Dana's house was flooded with birthday cards. She opened them all one by one with a big smile on her face. That is until she received a strange card that changed her life. A letter she would never forget. It was the only card that didn't have an address on it. "It's so strange," Dana thought. "I wonder from whom." It was a brownish envelope that looked like it had made a very long journey. The stamp on it also looked strange. It probably belonged to Eastern Europe. She opened the envelope and took out the contents. The note on the envelope read as follows: "If you're reading this, please give my daughter back to me." Dana was shocked. What does this mean? She thought. Jessie's parents had died in a car accident. She looked at the envelope again to find any clues. "Stamp," she thought. "I'll find out where you came from." She took the stamp out of the envelope and turned to her computer. On the stamp there was a picture of an old man with a mustache, like from the royal family. As soon as Dana wrote the characteristics of the stamp, a website appeared in front of her. When she scrolled down, she saw the stamp. That's her, Dana thought. And where does she belong? He clicked on it. Wed to Nicholas stamp. St. Petersburg, Russia. Russia. Dana was surprised. Why is someone from Russia sending me such messages? She decided to go to the adoption agency to get more information. Fortunately, Jessie had left her with her mother for 2 days so that she could decorate the house without seeing her. When she arrived at the adoption agency, she showed them the letter. "Let me look at your past records on the computer," said the woman. "Who worked there?" When she typed Jessie and St. Petersburg into the search, the site suddenly crashed. "It's very strange," the woman said in amazement. "It's never been like this before." When she restarted the computer, something very crazy happened. The woman tried to look at Jessie's profile, but it was gone. "I don't understand," the woman said in surprise. "She was here just now. I don't understand. I'll try to reach my superiors. You guys can go home because it's probably going to take a while." Dana shook her head and returned home. As she drove away in the car, she thought about all that had happened and hoped that it had been a misunderstanding. She went on to decorate the house for Jessie's birthday party. A few hours later, Dana's mother suddenly called in a panic. "Come here at once. Something's happening to Jessie." Dana made her way to her mother's house as she jumped into her car. Fortunately, it was a 10-minute drive away. When she got there, her mother was sitting on the porch crying. She parked the car in the garage and ran as fast as she could to her mother. "Mom," she shouted as she ran. "What's going on?" Her mother was crying so much that she couldn't even speak. Finally, with a trembling tone of voice, "They've got her." "What do you mean?" asked the panicked Dana. "Mom, please calm down and tell me what happened." Her mother began to tell, wiping her tears. A number of people from the adoption agency came and said that after the first year of the adoption process, they needed to take Jessie for a 1-year routine checkup to see if everything was going well. Dana couldn't believe her ears. She immediately called the adoption agency. When the woman on the other end of the line answered, "Dana, where is my baby?" she asked. The woman said, "I'm sorry, we haven't reached the profile yet," she replied. Dana was confused. "What? With you, isn't it? Mom just told me that the institution took her for a 1-year routine checkup." Dana explained. "What a 1 year? We don't do such things," the woman replied. "We never take her that way." Dana was infuriated by this answer and immediately called the police. In shock, she explained the situation. They told her to go home. They would decide there what they could do together. Dana immediately ran into the house and opened the front door, and look what she found. There was another crumpled envelope with the same stamp on the mat. With trembling hands, she opened the envelope. Tears dripped onto the brown surface of the envelope as she tore open the top of the envelope. "I don't know if I can do this," she thought while holding the envelope in her hand. "Maybe I should wait for the police." Dana went towards the hall and sat down on a sofa. Then she wiped away her tears and took out the letter. "I must read it now. Perhaps the time is of the essence." She opened the letter and saw that there was a lot of writing on it. While opening it, a number of photos fell out of it. She looked at the photos and her eyes opened like a fortune teller out of amazement. This can't be right. In the photos, she saw Jessie in her infancy being held by a woman who seemed to belong to a noble family. She recognized Jessie at once by her eyes. They were so beautiful and unique. Dana was seeing Jessie's baby photos for the first time. She had adopted her when she was 4. When she looked at the woman holding Jessie, she got frozen. The woman in the picture had eyes just like Jesse's. How is this possible? It must have been taken before the car accident. She opened the letter and began to read. Dear Dana, we finally got her back. Your daughter is actually our daughter. I am the princess of a small country near Russia. Our daughter has been missing for a year. Our Secret Service finally found her last week. When we saw that you shared her photo on social media, I wrote you a letter. Dana couldn't believe her eyes. Because my sister did not want her to be the heir to the throne, she gave my daughter to others. She wanted her to live a normal life. That's why, unbeknownst to me, she gave her up for adoption. I've been depressed ever since. I'm sorry we took her unannounced, otherwise the press would have come after this incident. Then Dana found something taped to the back of the letter. Dana realized that this was a plane ticket. Please come visit us at the Royal Palace, let's get to know each other. A week later, Dana jumped on a plane to go to the Royal Palace. She would finally be able to hug Jesse again and meet her family. Even though she was incredibly sad that Jesse was no longer her baby, she could see that they really loved her. The royal family offered Dana a room in the palace and said that she could visit Jesse at any time. Dana and Jesse are still best friends despite everything that has happened.